Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sandbox Wednesday stream. I'm Alex Flores, aka Kamasazi, joined here in voice, mind, body, and soul by Lucas's right.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah, what's up?
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Lucas and I.
Lucas
Oh,
and I,
go,
what? Go on. No, you go. It's
okay.
your birthday.
Yeah. A few hours ago, I told Lucas, I was like, hey, we should, because it's my birthday, let's do like party hats. This super easy idea. I live across the street from a Dollar General. Like they sell party stuff, among other things, but they have a whole aisle that's just like wrapping paper and tissue paper and bags and birthday candles and balloons and everything you need for a party except for party hats. And I was like, oh, this will be a super simple thing. And then I had to make a party hat from scratch. But luckily, I am crafty and I have lots of art supplies. I got
You made that whole thing?
I made the whole thing.
Like even all the stars and planets and comets.
It's let me
You really are a wizard. I've been saying it for a while, but it Jesus, dude. You know what? Just I think what happened.
So yeah, it's I've got these cool chrome pens.
You are such an artist.
It's a chrome paint marker. And it puts down a really super thick layer of metallic like ink, so you can actually make a mirror. Like you can see the reflection of my screen. That's
super neat.
And it's really super easy. But this is all an illusion because the back of this is just duct tape.
It's okay.
My wife had some elastic bands. They're duct taped in there. You know,
that makes it even better. Makes it even better.
Totally DIY. Made it in about 25 minutes while my dinner was warming up.
And I went to a party store as well to get a party hat, and they didn't have any, so I got this instead.
Oof. Lord Yashik, we can't stream on any other streaming service at the same time that we stream on Twitch. So, this was a change in the Twitch terms of service. It used to be that only if you were an affiliate, you were limited to stream to Twitch, and only on Twitch at while you were live. I mean, you could stream to YouTube, but you had to do it separately from Twitch. That used to be an affiliate only thing. And now it's just part of Twitch's terms of service. You can't use things like Restream anymore, or you could face a ban, which is not great. But
don't make us sad.
Some of the best live services are still through the Twitch platform. It's one of our biggest audiences, and so the decision was like to just stay on Twitch. And this means that we can now apply for like affiliate or partner status and get other bonus features. So we may be able to do fun stuff with the chat, like polls and things like that. And yes, the video on demand, the VOD or VODs, are uploaded to YouTube after the stream, so you can check them out there. But live, we're just on Twitch for now. Times they be a changin'. Also, I love Lucas's hat. I kind of want one of those. Do you mind saying what store you found this at?
I think it was just like one of those regular Party City places. I don't really even remember.
Like
it might have been just like a dollar store place.
Okay, there's a place called Arrow Party and Paper or something like that. Isn't like in my region. I don't know if they're like a big chain, but yeah.
It was funny because I walked in and I was trying to buy it, and the guy was like, yeah, that'll be $3. And I'm like, but we're at the dollar store. And he's like, yeah, I know, it's a thing now. And I was just like, and he like pointed at the front of the store, and there was a sign that said dollar store, and somebody had put it like an apostrophe S. So it was dollars store. And I'm like, why don't you just call it a store, man? Why do we even have the pretense anymore? And he was like, your guess is as good as mine.
The apostrophe doesn't even make sense because it implies two
I
things.
know.
Either
I know.
either
Ownership.
either the store belongs to a dollar, and it's a singular dollar. Because if it was dollars apostrophe, then it would be multiple dollars own the store. But it's a dollars store, so it's just a dollar owns the store. Or dollar is store. It would be a contraction of dollar is. The dollars are taking over.
Dude, I didn't say it was a
Or the
good
dollars
idea.
are. The dollar's
I was
taking
saying-
over. The dollar
Yeah,
is taking over. Yeah.
I would like, I mean, that would be a little bit more of a positive outcome than what actually ended up happening. But what, you know, what are you gonna do?
It's the opposite of inflation, right?
Mm,
$3 for that hat seems like a really good price, though. I would buy that hat for $3.
I'm worried that it's made out of asbestos, like purely out of asbestos. But you know what? I'm gonna
Don't
risk
inhale
it.
deeply while you're wearing it. It's super cute. Yeah, and actually that's true for. I'm not going to get into all the. It's not what we're not here to talk. This isn't a financial podcast talking about the changing economy. Let's talk about the thing that we actually do here, which
What's
is
that?
we've got a Lotte World.
Oh, it's Lotte World.
Lotte. I've never heard it said out loud before.
Yeah,
Lotte
I actually
World.
just went to Lotte World when we were in Korea.
Oh, that's right. I think you
I
told
was
me
really
about
excited
that.
when I saw that pop up. I showed it to my wife, and she was just like, "No way!" The raccoon mascot. It was like she had like stuffed animals, and she had like a Lotte World cake when she was a little kid growing up. So this was like
Oh.
a really big deal to her. It was really cool.
Cool. Well, now she's going to get to see what all of our amazing people working in Vox Edit can make out of this. So this Vox Edit contest is calling for all voxel artists and K-culture enthusiasts. Are you ready to showcase your voxel design skills and bring Lotte World's beloved mascot? Is it Lottie or Lodi?
I would guess it's Lodi. It's Lotte, but I don't know that part actually.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask her after the show.
To life in your unique style. Show us your imagination and design prowess as you shape your very own Lodi character in voxel form. So that's this raccoon, right?
Yeah. I was like, what is it? I gotta know. What is?
It looks like a raccoon to me.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
And I think that might be where her lifelong obsession with raccoons has come from.
That would make sense. 15,000 sand will be split amongst the top entries in the following ways. First place, 6,000 sand, plus 1 loading night NFT. That would be this one in the middle, I'm guessing. Second place, 3,500 sand, plus 1 loading night NFT. Third place, 2,000 sand, plus 1 loading night NFT. And fourth to 10th place, each receive 500 sand. In addition, the top 10 winners will be showcased in the NFT gallery inside the Lotte World experience. So there's going to be an official Lotte World experience in the Sandbox that will have these 10 winners' art in it. Sand prizes are now going to be sent on the Polygon network. So note, I have there was one time, I think it's only happened once. Somebody messaged me going, "Hey, I never got my prize for this," and it had been sent on Polygon. So they were like, "Oh," they didn't know how to look there. They didn't know how. They didn't know how to look. But if you're not sure how to check what you have on Polygon, you can go ahead and ask any of our amazing ambassadors.
Yeah, shoot me a message.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to walk people through it.
It's pretty simple once you know it, but it can be a little confusing at first. Important KYC is needed to place in the top 3, or you need to be a verified creator. 4th to 10th place can earn rewards without KYC. How to be a verified creator: have a studio linked with a Game Maker Fund account, or have participated in 5 contests and placed in the top 10 during one of those times. It's not only 5, as few as 5. 5 or more times and placed in the top 10 during one of those times. Important dates. Submissions opened on July 20th at 9 a.m. UTC. Oh, this closes tomorrow. Submissions close August 3rd at 11:59 p.m. UTC. So that's midnight UTC. Well, gosh. Um, that means you got like 30 hours or so, I would say, give or take. This is just rough math.
Get in there.
Yeah. Make sure to check those times. Make sure that you get your submission before that deadline. Results will be announced between August 18th and August 26th. How to submit? You need to create a GIF of your fully animated asset. We recommend using Gazo. This is Gazo right here next to OBS. Super handy app. It basically lets you select a portion of your screen to screen capture, kind of like you would a screenshot, except it's animated and it automatically records. And it has a maximum length, but you can also say like, oh, I'm done, and then it will upload it to the Gazo website where you can download it as a GIF or an MP4. And there's other things you can do with it. Tweet your assets GIF mentioning at VoxEdit at the Sandbox game on Twitter. Make sure to include hashtag VoxEditWeekly in your tweet, in your Zeet, your Xteet.
Okay, so I have an idea.
Your X
because they say X marks the spot. I think they should be called spots.
Okay, it makes more sense than anything else.
I have no other ideas for this.
To finalize your submission, please fill out the following Google form. A bunch of other guidelines, judging criteria, some info on VoxEdit, and Lotte World. So we're going to paste that in the chat. Get creating. Speaking of creating, today's a creation day.
Yes. I love building days.
Yeah. So I've got some inspiration. Well, I guess I'll show. I've been sketching. I don't know how well you can see this. There you go. So I'm sketching out an idea for like a kind of Romanesque dome gallery, and I haven't decided with myself if I want it to be a spherical dome or if I want to fully embrace the cubeness of the sandbox. I kind of want to embrace the cubeness. Both, it'll be way easier to build. Because I can just do it in terrain blocks and I don't have to make a giant dome in VoxEdit.
Don't do that.
There's a whole bunch of other design complications that come up when you start working with domes and spheres and stuff. But I do really like the way domes look. There's also, let's see if I can remember what it's called. It's this Xenophat for Newton is like a really cool piece of architecture by Etne Louis Boulet, I'm guessing. That's how it's said. Let's see if I can.
Hey, Alex.
Get a good view. What's up?
Before we get too deep in the building, can we talk about one more thing?
Sure. What's up?
Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to read the tweet off. It says, "Go back in time and captivate the world like Elvis Presley with his electrifying presence. This epic collection features 3,000 avatars, each with its own distinctive traits, ready to shine in the metaverse. Get on the allow list now." And then there's a link for the allow list that I will drop into the chat. But this is something I'm confusingly excited about. I say that because I'm not a huge Elvis Presley fan myself, but I also understand how much he affected the world as a whole and music and pop culture. And obviously he's no longer with us. So to have his estate in the sandbox just once again shows me that I'm in the right place, because to have that opportunity to kind of like, like the Tupac hologram they had at Coachella that one year, like we're bringing people back so that even though they're no longer with us, they're still able to perform and be a part of the industry. And I just think that's really cool. And so the fact that his like I said, his estate is in the Sandbox is just, that's some next level stuff right there. So I wanted to at least bring up the mint.
Trying
That's
to
not
get a
one.
good. There we go. This is what I was looking for. I was having a hard time finding this page. So,
Okay. That's beautiful.
oh, I love the Hawaiian shirt one.
I love a good Hawaiian shirt, because there's no such thing as a good Hawaiian shirt. And so every single one is amazing.
You mean there's no such thing as a bad Hawaiian shirt?
No, I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. My words were
Okay.
chosen very carefully. I have one of my favorite shirts is like this red and white Hawaiian shirt that I've had since I lived in Hawaii when I was a kid, and it's starting to fall apart, and my wife is just so excited for that thing to just disintegrate.
My dad had a sweater from before I was born. He used to wear it on the submarine where he worked, and the battery acid would eat holes through it. Um,
Yep.
he might even still have it, although I think he did finally
Hopefully.
get rid of it. But he also had a uh, uh, is it Billy Larson? No, I'm thinking Bill Waterman, who's Gary Larson. Gary Larson's Far Side. He had a shirt, a T-shirt with a big graphic from that. Um, that also the battery acid had eaten through that too. I'm not sure how he still had a chest after all that, but
Because he was stronger than the battery acid. The shirt
it
was
was all
not.
the black coffee just inoculated him to acid apparently. Okay, so oh, thank you, Joe. Joe's in the chat talking about how beautiful
Mm.
our party hats are. All right, so this
Ooh.
amazing drawing. This was never built because it's kind of like barely possible. Maybe with today's technology, could potentially be built, but nobody, I think, is interested in building it. Although I did see somebody's built like a VR experience where you could like enter this thing. But in case you can't see, there's little teeny tiny steps here.
Mm.
It's very very large. These are the people right here going in through this door. And it's supposed to be like a observatory kind of, or like not where you like actually look into the sky, but where they like project stars kind of.
Oh, okay.
Um, and and the inside would have been something like this.
Oh,
So it's like
that's
super
super
cool,
neat.
right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I saw these like I think like a year ago, and these are really old. These are from like the late 1800s, I think. Um, so I saw these drawings. I don't actually know when they're from. I'm guessing. But I saw these drawings. And I was like, that's cool. I want
That's really
something
cool.
like that. Um, and so it was just this giant, like almost like ominous and imposing structure, just like really super like overwhelming. I think the measurements would have made it something like 488 feet tall, something like that. Like taller than the pyramids. Um,
Now that you've
and
shown me the inside, my brain is just spinning.
right, and there's also like kind of like long tunnels going in and stuff too. It's not just like you have to go through a process to get inside. So, um, yeah, just this giant thing, and I'm like, I kind of want to build something like that, and the dome totally like makes it, but also ton of ton of work technically. So, I'm thinking maybe not doing that. So we're gonna mock this up in MagicaVoxel. I've actually set this to the size of a 2x2, which is 192 by 192 by 128. 96, yeah, 80. I did that math in my head. 192 is correct. And I don't. We're just gonna get started. We'll take questions in the chat.
Diving on
Um,
in.
yeah, we're just building today. So any questions you've got, let me know.
So when you sketch something like this out and you have your design in mind and you've got all your things going for you,
Hmm.
mentally, how do you start? Like, what's your step one?
So sometimes I will do a paper sketch like what I've done here. So I kind of know the rough structure that I want. And
Okay.
sometimes I'll start with like a very rough blocking and then kind of work in the details. Sometimes I have um something like the a medium unit that I know I want to work with. So, like in the case of this sketch, I started with knowing that I want this kind of symmetry with the dome coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and the size of these entrances coming in. So I kind of worked off uh, with those as like a larger unit. So I'm not working in a meter size. I'm working something in more like probably like a 4 meter distance. Um, and then I'll start like iterating out in the size. So um, let's do something that's not totally white because it's a little hard to look at.
Hmm.
My screen's very bright. If you ever see my face just change color, it's because the thing on my screen is changing. Um, and
That's wonderful.
really for me, it's just the thing is to just kind of start working on it. Like, don't I will get frozen if I try to overthink
Okay.
and not actually start. Um,
Analysis paralysis.
sure.
No, I do that
Is
really
that
bad. If I overthink something, I get what my wife calls analysis paralysis, where I'm just trying to analyze every single little detail of it before I actually get going, and
mm.
I get totally bogged down and mired in the details, and I don't ever actually get going. And she'll come up and she'll give me a nice, loving slap on the back of the head and be like, "Hey, you're doing it again." And I'm just like, "Oh, I guess I kind of am. Thank you."
uh, wait. So I also tend to use math a lot, even though I'm very much an art person.
Hmm.
And I'm not big on math. I like order a lot. So I've actually just shrunk this down 4 times.
Hmm.
Um, and mm, mm, actually, no, it was more than 2 times. More than 4 times, I mean. There we go.
How many more times?
I shrunk it down 16 times because I did
Oh,
it. I halved it 4 times instead of
you're
halving
you're
it twice.
playing with fire there, Alex.
I know. So I'm just kind of working out the structure that I have in mind. So I've got something that's was 8 across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So this is a thing that I don't do very often, um, because my process can be kind of messy, and
Hmm.
I tend to go back and forth a lot on ideas, which can be I don't want to say embarrassing, like it's kind of like outside the comfort zone to build something like this
Okay.
when I want to, because it's not so difficult for me to sketch something like in the game maker and just kind of like slap together logic and ideas, but it is more difficult to uh do that when it's something that I want to be really careful with. um so you're kind of getting like a this is kind of like my private brain here,
Okay.
that you're
I
getting
like
to.
it. This is special.
Right. All right, so now
Super
we're
dig
looking
it.
at half size. Any questions in the chat, like what we've been up to?
Nothing as of yet. I will let you know as soon as they come in. I will interrupt whatever you're saying.
Not much yet.
I'm just excited to see you build because okay, so we're obviously not in Voxedit right now or Game Maker,
Right,
and
we're in MagicaVoxel.
I've never actually seen you build in MagicaVoxel before.
Okay.
So this is a lot of fun for me.
This is it's my preferred program for modeling just because of it's got a lot. Like if you look on the panels here, like these are all collapsed, but it's got a ton of different features that are really super useful. Um, but it's actually I don't get a chance to work in it very often because a lot of the work that I do for the Sandbox is character art, and I'm
Mm,
usually working off of like the avatar template.
gotcha. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, it's kind of a different workflow. Um, so let's see. We're working at 1 meter scale size right now. So basically, size of an avatar is like this right now in this space.
Okay.
So I actually want this way bigger. So we're gonna shrink down our bounding boxes. Actually, we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm halving the bounding boxes, but then multiplying the scales, so that way
Oh, so what you're saying is
everything.
now you're playing God.
Yeah.
Before you were playing with fire, now you're just playing God. I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Same page.
128.
Oh
All
wow.
right. Right. So we're gonna shrink down these walls, and now the size of an avatar is that. So I just really want this to feel like immense when people walk in. The entire inner space here is going to be kind of like uh kind of its own art piece.
Okay.
It's not going so I don't think I said what we're building here. We're building an NFT gallery for my collection.
Mm.
Um this will probably take a really long time. Um but we're sketching out the idea of MagicaVoxel today just to get started. And the first thing that you're going to enter into here is not really going to be displaying the NFT work, but just kind of the architectural work.
Mm.
Um, and then we're going to have levels going underground that are going to be the galleries underneath.
The galleries will all be underneath it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what's this question here? Can you template that with blueprints to make it a bit more efficient? I'm not sure what you
I think
mean.
they
Are
mean
you
like could you build it out with like AutoCAD or something like that to make the design work more efficient and then maybe import some sort of a file to MagicaVoxel or VoxEdit to just kind of smash over it. You know what I'm saying?
so you can import
Hmm.
meshes into MagicaVoxel, but it is kind of a messy process. And
Okay.
I usually use that as a quick reference for like organic things more so than constructing.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, not it's not something that I would typically do. There a long time ago there was somebody who had built a tool which would let you take a MagicaVoxel file and convert it into a sandbox land, which was super cool. Um, since we have the cloud-based system, that's not a feature that really works at the moment. Um, but it would be cool to see if we could get that back again. Um, can't you save and copy objects or parts of objects? just within the thing you built. So in MagicaVoxel, you can like you see on the side here. There's these things, which if I do the stamp tool, is that what it's called? Pattern mode. You can select. Well, I don't remember how to do it. It's not something I do very often. Patterns list. Here we go. You can actually grab like things to put in. So you can totally do that. But what I'm building here is like a design from scratch. So this is just me planning out what we're gonna build in the terrain editor for the sandbox. So I've made a 2x2 land size, which I think will be needed to really make this structure impressive enough. And already I am again dissatisfied with the size here. So it needs to be way bigger.
More power.
Right. I don't want to make it bigger than a 2x2 though, just for optimization reasons and stuff. So I think
Oh, you want this to be massive.
yeah, I just you know, I think once I get more of the stuff in, it'll feel bigger.
I was
but
thinking 1x1 for all of this. You're talking
this
two
is
by
a
two.
this is a 2x2, and I kind of want to use a 1x1 as the size to start with for this thing. So we're working off the
Oh my.
grid here. Let's see, TF. So yeah, we're gonna. I'm big on symmetry too, so we're gonna go from the top here. We're gonna leave a little bit of headroom in case I want to put stuff up there, and so this is kind of this is like a half dome size here.
Okay.
I kind of want it to be an actual dome. I feel like that's the only way it's going to be big enough. In feeling like I'm
If you
having an
do an actual
existential crisis
dome,
here.
it'll have a lot of extra. It'll add so many extra hours onto it. I'm just saying. You know I'm right.
I know you're right. All right. Okay. We're gonna not do a dome. We're gonna do a monolith.
Ooh.
Okay.
Those are always fun.
Yeah, just big structure. Okay. All right, and as we're gonna have to subdivide this. We're gonna do 12.
Is it difficult to build a spiral staircase? Would you rather use VoxEditor or MagicaVoxel for something like that?
So depending on how complicated you want to make the actual model pieces, you might want to do them in MagicaVoxel, but I would actually build that in VoxEdit because you'd really be iterating one shape in a spiral over and over. You could actually build a spiral staircase in MagicaVoxel really, really quickly because you really just need to build one step and then make a skeleton going up, and you are just making new nodes for each step and just rotating it a little bit each time as you go up. Um, I feel like I could like speed run that, be like build the fastest spiral staircase possible, and of course you could go into more detail, make it look nicer and stuff, but it would be a pretty simple process. Maybe we can add that to a list, and we could do that as like let's make that sometime
Okay.
kind of thing.
I'm doing it.
So I kind of still want to keep the proportions of the dome.
Okay.
even though it's not a dome now.
I mean, you could do like what's the word I'm looking for? Not a dome, but not just a straight up monolith. You could still have like angled edges on it if you really wanted. Like kind of like stairs, like a actually like a ziggurat, you know? Is that the word? Like a
Ooh,
pyramid that has like
yeah,
steps on it?
yeah, yeah. Well, so if you talk about like South American pyramids, they're still called pyramids. Ziggurat is like slightly different than a pyramid in structure. Bye, Hoddle. Sleep well. Um,
I just dropped an image in the Alex stream chat. You should take a look at that real quick.
yeah. So yeah, the ziggurat. It's kind of like it's like stacked buildings almost. Like it's pyramidal in an abstract sense, but it's like vertical buildings stacked on top of each other.
So what
And
you're saying
then
is it's super fancy.
yeah, and also super old. Um there's I think there's only one ziggurat still standing, like mostly complete. Um I was actually just looking up stuff about that few weeks ago. I really love ancient architecture, stuff like that. Um what's the max height for steps that a character could use without issues? So that's actually there's not a proper answer to that question anymore. Let's go to fire up the game maker. Why not?
Okay.
We're gonna jump in here real quick. So there's actually an adjustment slider for climb height. So
Hmm.
several versions ago, I think in 0.7, we introduced auto climb for blocks. Maybe that was even in
Okay.
0.6. Um, and that was um, kind of like Minecraft, where as you come to the edge of a block, you automatically hop up.
Okay.
Um, no, I'm here by my own volition. I do get paid to do this, but um, it's not in the rules. It's in like the settings, global parameters. So you go to controller, and then it's kind of hidden. You scroll down on this left panel, and there's auto jump height, which by default is at half a meter. So that only applies to assets, not to blocks. Blocks you can always hop up one. So I'm not pressing jump. I just walk and I auto step up. And then I don't know if I have an object that is specifically half a meter high. But I could probably just place it that high. How tall is this thing? Okay, this thing's a meter high. That's close enough to what I'm trying to do. And then I should be able to just adjust it. So we're gonna put one here. And we're gonna make sure that it's lined up to there. And then we're gonna place another one. And we're gonna subtract. Actually, I want it slightly lower, just so it's like almost like Z fighting with the meter. So there you go. Okay, so it's just below the meter height for that board. And then we're gonna duplicate that, and we're gonna subtract half a meter off of the height. So that's gonna be 3793. Oh, did I do it in the wrong? Oh, that's way off. This is the y-axis, right? Hmm.
Yes.
It is the y-axis. 38, 43, 37. Is that a bug?
Hmm?
It's going way off from where I'm telling it to on the number there. Let's try. Do I have some stairs? Oops. I know how to spell stairs. All right.
Me, I'm spelled good.
All right. Oh, perfect. Okay. So these ones are quarter meter steps. So if we set the step height to 0.25, we should still be able to hop up them. See, I walk right up them, and I'm standing on each step as I go. If I made the auto jump lower, I don't think it would still work. So if I set this to... Oh, actually, 0.5 is the lowest it goes. I didn't realize that. You can't move the slider lower.
So it's got a default, and or it's got a min value.
Yeah, it does, but it's not at the bottom of the slider. That's kind of funny. So 0.5 is the minimum height then, and you can do it up to 1. You used to be able to set it really high. I set it to like 10 meters one time, which was pretty funny to walk to the edge of a building and just go whoop right up the top. But also kind of ridiculous. So if we set it to the half height, I don't think we're going to auto climb onto this. Yeah, so I'm running right onto it, but I still step up the blocks. So if I change that to 1 meter, I should now see I'm not pressing jump. I just climb right over it. So setting it to 1 meter might be more than you want because you'll end up auto stepping on top of a lot of things.
Is there no max?
The max is 1 meter.
Okay.
The max used to be either really high or non-existent. So I had set it in a previous version. I had set it to like 10 meters, and it made me hop onto the top of buildings without jumping.
You were basically Spider-Man.
I would more like Mr. Fantastic. I would just like step up to the top of the building without jumping.
I love that. Thank you. You made it so easy for my brain to understand.
You're welcome. So yeah, between 0.5 meter and 1 meter is the auto step height. So that is that's what you use for steps. You can make the steps shorter, so like these are quarter steps, but the minimum is 0.5 meter. So you always will glide right up these steps. But yeah, ever since the auto step was introduced, it makes life so much easier. Like you can just what am I looking for? Tiles. You know, you could build steps just like in the game maker if you wanted, just doing stuff like this. And that should work. I've never tested this before, but I think it's gonna work.
I believe in you.
Easy. Works just as expected. So yeah, Auto stepping. I don't know who remembers me and Joe streaming together, but it used to be the thing we'd always harp on is not putting collision on grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it used to be that you wouldn't run over it, so you'd put all this grass down,
And people just stop.
and it
Like
was
a
like
car hitting a wall.
it was like running into a brick wall. But now you run right over it, and it's still kind of weird to run over it
Mm.
because you like see yourself kind of float. But at least it's not painful, right? Joe still freaks out on the devs. Yes, he does. Like
As
we,
he
we do
should.
we do bring it up,
As
right?
he
Like
should.
turning off collision does make it just, it's like, oh, we can run through the grass. It's just so
Mhm.
much more pleasant.
As
right?
you should be able to.
Right.
I've never been running through a field as a kid and just like all of a sudden rolled on top of the grass. Or I mean, even corn, which is a lot thicker than grass, you still get slapped around by a little bit, but you're still going through the center of that cornfield. It's just weird.
You got slapped around by corn a lot.
Who didn't?
Me, I stayed inside.
You think you're better than me?
That's not what I said. I didn't get slapped around by corn, though. I will tell you that.
Yeah, you think you're better than me. Got it. Happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's gonna be a good day.
Oh. Lucas got slapped around by the song. Got a leash back.
Also true. Also 100%. Will not deny this.
By corn.
Yeah, yeah.
I like corn.
But I see, that's the thing. I don't like corn.
What?
I don't like actual corn. Like corn tortillas are the worst.
Oh, I was just having this conversation with my brother. I used to not like fish tacos because
Okay.
when my mom made them when I was a kid, she always used corn tortillas, but she did not heat the corn tortillas. And I don't know how my full-blooded Texas Mexican dad did not correct her on this, but she never heated the corn tortillas, and it's terrible. Store-bought corn tortillas that have not been like heated on your stovetop are just like, they're like gummy and crumbly, and they taste like sadness. So
They do taste like sadness.
yeah, but
Sadness and hate.
but if you throw them on your stove burner, no pot, just put them on the burner for like a couple seconds, flip it over, get a little toasty brownness on them. They taste like a tortilla chip, which is delicious.
Okay. Yeah,
taste like a
tortilla chips
tortilla
are
chip.
delicious.
They're more pliable, so they don't rip when you put food in them. And now I actually like fish tacos because I've learned the correct way to eat a corn tortilla.
Well, maybe I've just never had a proper corn tortilla.
It's probably the case.
Mm. Also, I just found out my hat lights up.
What?
Yep. There's little hard things in the handles that aren't part of the ear flippy part. And apparently there's buttons on them. And then when I push them, things light up. It's there we go. You see it? You see it? I think only half of it works. And I don't think I can get into it to change the batteries. So what's dead may never die. So it's done.
That which is dead
May never die. Yep.
How can you kill that which has no life?
Oh,
It's the best episode of South Park ever.
so good. Did you see that they have like more new episodes out, and one of them is all about ChatGPT?
Oh no.
ChatGPT wrote like a large portion of the episode. Like they credit in the end credits is like written by Trey Parker, and instead of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, it's Trey Parker and ChatGPT. It is
They replaced one
wonderful.
of the writers
It's
entirely.
wonderful. They did such a good job.
Oh no.
Oh, this is turning
Alright.
out fun. I'm liking
Cool.
this. I feel like I'm. Do you remember the movie Ghost when they're like building the clay pot?
Are
I
you
feel like that's
saying
what I'm watching right
I'm
now.
Whoopi Goldberg and you're Patrick Swayze?
No, I'm saying you're Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore at the same time.
Why did I say Whoopi Goldberg?
I
I've
don't
I've
know.
never actually seen Ghost.
Oh.
Was Whoopi Goldberg a ghost in some other movie?
No, but she was in the movie Ghost. She was like the medium that he spoke through.
Oh, okay, so she is in that movie. Okay.
She is in that, yes.
All right.
Look at us talking about movies that haven't been out for 90 years.
I think 90's a little bit. I mean, I know I'm old now, but 90's a little bit of an exaggeration.
You're not old. You're not old at all. What are you doing? You're like moving it from side to side. That is so cool. That allows you like a new angle to watch it. Or
Yeah,
to see
so
it.
it's letting me split it. So it loops. You can just keep on going like that.
That's so stinking useful.
Yeah. This is why I use MagicaVoxel for stuff like this.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is
So because it lets me cut into the view, I can also
be a lot more
with Whoopi
efficient and
Goldberg.
effective with your time. Yeah, with Whoopi.
The view. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're just having fun, folks.
We're doing it.
Oops.
We're doing it. Boop.
So yeah, it lets me, instead of trying to like carve from the top each of these steps, I can just slice right in and do that.
Dude, that's so cool.
Which is way easier. It also lets me reframe this thing on the grid. So that way I can line stuff up.
Yeah. I didn't realize the grid was moving or staying stationary while you were doing all this too.
Yeah. And then I can change the grid to, say, 6. And I'm going to offset it 3. That. So I can now go like this.
Oh my God, Alex.
And I'm not really worrying about the color too much because this is just a sketch. This is me planning. So I would like people to be able to enter through arches like this. They enter into this giant structure. And then they can go to the middle. And actually, I think, yeah, the middle's supposed to be filled in.
Like with a giant spiral staircase, or will that be like an
it's
NFT gallery that you see as you fall all the way down to the bottom?
So this is going to be like an event floor. So there's going to be, this will mostly just be an open area that you can stand in, and I want people to be able to change the time of day so you can see from like holes in the ceiling, like the sunlight angle change on the floor. But then you can go down these steps, and there will be areas below, which actually I made these steps way deeper than I meant to. Oh well, I can fix it. So you're gonna loop back underneath this floor, and there will be a spiral column going down.
Can I make one suggestion?
Yeah.
You put a hole in the ceiling where on the right time of year, like the right day, the right season, like a beam
we
of
are
light
going to
comes
steal
through.
the Declaration of Independence. That's
Done. I'm into it.
I haven't figured out what the puzzles are going to be yet, but there are going to be quests. This is not just good. This isn't your granddad's NFT gallery.
Nope.
This is
mainly because my granddad thinks NFTs are the devil, but still.
my grandmother's like saw the Sandbox in like the New York Times and on like CNN and was like, wait, that's the thing you're working on, right? I'm like, yeah.
My mom said the same thing, but it was in like a paper newspaper. Like I could hear her rustling it as
Yep.
like when she called me. It's
There's
like,
some.
aren't you involved with the
I,
Sandbox? And I was like, yeah, why?
I
She's
can't
like, I'm
remember.
reading.
Oh,
Hmm?
sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
So she was just saying because I'm reading about it in the paper, and she like I thought she meant like about it online, and then I heard her turning the pages, and I'm like, oh wait, you mean in an actual newspaper? I was like, you guys still get that delivered? And she's like, every day. Why?
And you were like,
And I
you
was,
fossil. We gotta put you in a home.
she would light that place on fire and break out so fast. She is a free spirit. I will not try to cage her. uh,
uh,
good times. Good times.
oh man. Uh,
Joe says,
yeah, no,
okay, where's the pyramid placed?
I do actually have a copy of, I think it was the New York Times when the Sandbox got mentioned. I was like, I'm gonna save that. And it's somewhere,
Nice.
some on some
Yeah.
shelf in my office.
Yeah. Joe would like to know where in the world the pyramid is placed because he will do the math.
What does that mean?
I think he means like where in the world so that he can figure out where we need to like the season and the day for the beam of light so that we can have like an Indiana Jones style quest in here.
I was like missing the context for the light. Yeah. Well, so the thing with the we're limited in what we can actually define for that, right? So like we can set the time of day. We're just gonna have this tree do it because trees control the sun.
It's science.
And then we can say it's actually a weather. It's a function of the weather, and you set it to custom, and you get all these settings, and one of them is time. And so you can say at 0.43 of a day, this is, where'd my tile go? This is where that shadow casts. And then you can say at 0.75 and then hit preview. Well, sorry, that's dusk. So the time 0 is midnight, 0.25 or a quarter is sunrise, 0.5 is high noon. You can see the shadow is perfectly underneath the tree. 0.75 is sunset, and all the way to 1 is it loops to midnight again. So if I do like 0.6 preview, you can see that the sun has now moved to the other side of the tree. And you can actually you can set buttons to transition the time. So if we interact with the tree, or we'll interact with a deer, because the deer tell the sun what to do. Obviously, that's their job.
The deer tell the tree tells the sun. It's chain of command.
So if we said message, just we're not going to wait for message, so we're going to start at,
we're impatient,
0.6, right? And then we're going to duplicate this tree, and message to switch is going to be deer, and we're going to set that to, what did we set that time at for that tile? I don't remember. Is it 0.
Right now?
Right now.
Right now.
0.4 preview. Well, we'll move the time there. Um, and then we interact with the deer. Say message, and message to send is deer.
That's a good message.
Yep. And it's
I
going to
dig it.
broadcast to all, and it's going to wait before broadcast, and message required is interact. And now, when we go up to the deer, we interact, and it switches. But that switch is like very fast. I don't like how fast that switch is. So when we do that, instead of using the deer message, we're going to use one of the yellow messages, which is an argument message. And we're going to do weather fade. And we're going to set the time to 15 seconds. And now we use
so many seconds away from now.
And now when we interact with the deer, we see the shadow move.
Oh, wow. Look at that go.
The sun changes position.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I figure what would be cool is if there are maybe different parts of... This is kind of why I wanted the dome, because I feel like a dome... around a dome, it feels more like heliocentric and like kind of interact, but it doesn't really matter because the shadow casting will still happen with the square.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's something like on these steps or on this floor, maybe there's like an amazing mosaic on the floor, and setting the time, interacting with things on the outer wall of this space will change the time of day in the experience and let you look up clues. I haven't figured out what the puzzle's going to be yet, but there's going to be a puzzle. We're just starting. I drew this today. This was the start. I started thinking about this. I've been casually thinking about this off and on for like a couple years, but only really seriously thinking about it for like a week, and only started sketching it today. So we got a ways to go.
I'm into it. I heard puzzle and I started throwing ideas out there, and I'm already excited for it. It's a ways away.
All right. So I'm actually thinking I want this to be like a row of columns, and we're gonna have this be the actual outer wall here.
Love a good row of columns.
Yeah. It's essential for your Romanesque buildings.
You don't have it, people are just gonna be like looking at you like, you think you're fancy, but you're not. And they'll be right.
But we're gonna keep that low for now, and we're gonna sketch out. This column should be a meter, I think. So we're gonna go. I like it when things are even, also. So like it can't. If it doesn't line up even, like no bueno. Gotta increase the space until it fits correctly. Hey, look at that. Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And now we punch a hole in it. And you know what, Lucas? I was thinking we should give away some extra hats today.
How many?
I'm thinking one for yours and one for mine. So we're going to give away 3 hats.
Oh, I forgot I was wearing a hat.
It just was
I
so
was like, one
natural.
for yours.
It was just so natural.
Yeah. I was like, what, yours what? What is he possibly referencing right now? Ah, I get it. Yes, the one on my head. This one. Give me 1 second while I pull that up.
Mhm. All right. So we've got kind of an upper gallery here. I'm not sure how people are going to get up here yet. There could be like ladders around. Um, or there could just be stairs in the corners. That could work too. But this is why I wanted to do the design work in MagicaVoxel because uh, grappling hooks. Yeah, I wish.
Always a good idea.
I
Always,
mean, you could.
unless we're talking like the original Turtles cartoon where they took Michelangelo's nunchucks away and gave him a grappling hook. Otherwise, anytime a grappling hook is mentioned, it's a wonderful idea.
A grappling hook isn't really a weapon. Like I don't
I know, that's why
understand
it was
how.
so lame.
unless unless you're Samus, and then a grappling hook
Fair,
is a
fair.
wonderful weapon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
fair, fair.
Um, am I thinking of that? Is it Sam?
Samus has a grappling hook, but it's like an electrical one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so the thing is I've played a lot more Metroid than I have Smash Brothers, but I'm thinking of the way you use the grappling hook in Smash Brothers is because in Metroid I don't know that you really use the grappling hook as a weapon that I can remember. You use it to navigate, but in Smash Brothers you definitely use the grappling hook to like grab enemies and pull them in for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Does Link have a grappling hook? I don't think I've ever played as Link.
I would assume so. I mean, he seems like a very utility type character.
It's been a really long time since I played Smash Brothers.
We actually just got Smash Brothers the other day. My wife was really excited about it. She's like, "Look what I ordered," and I'm just
I
like, "I don't want to get divorced. I mean,
when it
because I
comes
will whoop you in this game."
when it comes to the multiplayer Nintendo games, I prefer the N64 ones because that's what I played the most. I totally missed the GameCube generation. And then when Wii came around, it's like so many colors, so many things happening on the screen. And so I went from like really basic graphics where I could see what was going on to it just like being a fireworks show condensed into like 1 second and beamed into my eyeballs, and I get a little overwhelmed with how much is happening on the screen.
Totally fair.
um hmm. I could just do little elevator lifts because that is an option that we have. How big are the
Hmm.
da, 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 da. I still need to get these platforms minted.
The one we've been talking about for a little bit now.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to the artist and he's like, "Sure." And I was like, "Awesome. I'll help you get that minted." And then I forgot. I got
You've been a little busy lately. You do have a couple things going
a
on.
few
So
things, but this
I
one's
feel
important.
like that's fair. It's a very important platform.
It's a very important platform. I
It's
think
a
a lot of people have used it.
VIP.
Yeah. Very important platform. Yes. Okay, so it is 3 meters by 3 meters, pretty perfectly. So yeah, I think we'll probably center it. No, I'm trying to think if I want to center it in a 4 meter hole, or if I want to. Hmm.
You mean so that it fits perfectly into the space, or
So
you
it
can fall
doesn't
off the
fit.
side if you want to?
Yeah. So I think if I move it away from the corner, and doesn't really matter for the sketch phase, I guess, but because it's something
What's the problem you're trying to solve, or what are you trying to accomplish with this line of thought?
So I want the platform to be easily accessible, but also skippable if people want to just jump down.
Gotcha.
And
They
if you
can
don't,
take the scenic route if they want to, but if they want to just fall past it all and not see anything, they have that option as well.
right.
Gotcha.
So I don't really like the way it looks smashed up to the corner here. So I'm thinking if I center it at a 4 by 4 meter hole, it feels a little more floaty. And I don't think you'll be able to skip it though. Yeah. So you can't. Oh. Oh, you get like stuck running that way. I mean, you can get out of it easily, but it does not like that half-meter gap.
I don't like it either.
I mean, I like the way it looks, but functionally not great. So what happens if we?
Well, you know what you could do? You could increase the width, like you were already probably going to do. Increase the amount of space around it, but then you could put like a little ledge going out over where the platform would be.
Like an
That way,
entrance ramp?
yeah, like a little entrance ramp. That way, if people want to walk onto it, they have an easy way to do that, and they won't have to worry about it. But if they do fall off, yeah, something like that, but that goes over it as opposed to, yeah, there you go. And they can fall off the side easily.
Mind the gap. I'm stuck.
Nice. That's called teamwork right there.
I think that works. Yeah. So people can just hop right down.
Hmm.
And you don't want that pause to be too long. You only want it to be like you only need it to be like 2 seconds to like let people disembark. And then if I make it so, yeah, no, I think that works. I made some sketchy looking elevators in my game. It's called Willy Wonky's Wonky Vader.
It's from that's not Jackie Chan, by the way. Not Jackie Chan has been trying to get back into their Twitch account for a while now, and they finally got back in, and
Oh,
they are here.
nice.
I meant to scream that at you earlier, but I got distracted.
All right. So we did a 4 meter hole. Wait, no, it's 5 meter hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. How many meters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 meters. do I want it to be only 5? Because 6 feels too big. That feels claustrophobic. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going with the 6-meter hole. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. That's the entirety of that space, though. Oh, inner ridge, obviously. That's what I'm missing. There needs to be an inner
Mm.
there needs to be an
Oh, yeah.
inner ridge here. 2 meters
Mhm.
wide, which will let people traverse.
Find their way up to.
Well, just to be able to walk around without falling down the elevator shafts.
Yeah, and to look down on the peasants, you know?
The peasants who did not ride the elevator yet. It's so easy to become not a peasant by riding the elevator.
I mean, it's a system that allows for advancement. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, so we got like 2 tiers of columns here.
I love that you can stretch from one side of the building to the other. That way you know for a fact they're lined up perfectly.
Yep, it's the same as like drawing a box. Like, going like this, but I'm doing it with erasure.
Yeah, I get what you're doing. I just love that you're doing it the way that you're doing it because it takes that organized side of my brain and it's just like this is happy. And having that little ledge out it gives it an extra feel.
Mm-hmm.
That added a lot to it. I love that. It breaks it up really well.
So those are the elevator holes, and we can do our little.
Got a question from a not Jackie Chan / Yuma Lee Talks. New question: is this an asset or like the Minecraft import thing, which I don't know anything about?
So yeah, we don't have a way to import this as a terrain. It's not an asset. This is planning for a land. This is me making the blueprint, more or less. I am using this to sketch out what I want the measurements to be, so that way when I go into the game maker, I just have to select what my block is and start building the space kind of like from the bottom up. That way I'm not struggling to line things up. And any sort of like waffling and indecision on my part about how exactly this is going to work, I can take care of now. Gesundheit.
Did you hear that?
No, I could see you.
Oh, I thought I'd muted it, and I was like, oh man,
You did mute it.
a sausage finger did it again.
Nope. You did what you intended to successfully.
Jackpot.
And there'll be like a railing on this as well.
I mean, safety first.
Yeah, I mean you'll be able to jump over the railing if you want. It's only going to be 1.5 meters tall, not even a half,
YOLO.
just enough to prevent you from auto stepping over it.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
So you'll stop, but then you'll be able to easily jump over it.
Because we're not going to tell you how to live your life.
Well, because I like jumping over things mostly.
Mhm. Absolutely.
All
But
right.
when we do it on purpose, not accidentally.
With gusto.
Hmm.
All right. So I want sort of a looping staircase underneath this thing. So we're gonna cut this in half. Mm,
This is already looking really cool.
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out where I want the entrance to this section, and I think I'm going to put doors in here.
If I was going to hunt for the, Declaration of Independence, the door would be somewhere like that. That's where I would just, it has to be.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of par for the course. Dude, I feel like this is like watching ants dig an ant farm.
It kind of is, except we can choose where the glass split is at any point. That's the thing that
Mm.
um I've asked that we have this in the game maker to be able to kind of like subdivide so we can like it make tunnels more easily, but
Mm-hmm.
that requires a lot of tech. So I don't know when we might see that.
Okay.
Um
But it has been requested.
it has been requested.
I like it.
This is only 3 meters wide though. I kind of want it to be wider than that because I don't want any sort of claustrophobia.
Mm-mm. We experienced
Actually,
a lot of games in the last game jam that having that extra space to them really did give them like a different feel that I really appreciated.
yeah. We can actually kind of open this up really wide. Um, so it's more like the upper level here. Let's do something like that. And we can actually make it deeper. Um, you know what? Let's continue those steps down to make this, because this is only a 6 meter tall section here.
Okay.
So we're going to dig this whole thing out here. And we're just going to take this whole building's footprint. make sure that I'm doing this right. Yeah. So we're going to make this floor like 12 meters tall instead of 6.
Makes sense.
Because that also, like, we're going to have a lot of artwork on the walls. So we want
You want it to have
room.
some space.
Yeah, we want to have room to breathe. Um, Otherwise, it's gonna get a little too crowded, especially with how big I would like the NFT frames to be.
Larger than average?
Just as big as they can be.
Okay.
So the biggest frame that we can make is 256 voxels, which is 8 meters. So having the room be 12 meters tall will mean that I've got an extra 2 meters above and below, or probably 1 meter below and 3 meters above. That way you're not like looking up so much.
Makes sense. It's big, but it's not neck breaking big.
Right.
I am going to close out the contest form here shortly. So if you have not yet entered, please make sure you do so. Drop the link in the chat one more time. Wonder if this is how the Romans felt when they were designing the Colosseum.
I, um, I feel like they were simultaneously more and less ambitious. More ambitious in that they were building physical things out of big, heavy rocks and cement, and less ambitious in that because they were building out of physical things, they had structural limitations. This is why I didn't go into architecture. I didn't want to take calculus and physics and material sciences and all that stuff. I want to be able to build buildings, not worrying about safety and structure and stuff like that.
Alex designs
As
a building and they're like, sir,
as
sir.
I put in railings for safety. Anyway.
Like, sir, your building cannot exist. The laws of physics will not allow it. And he was like, well, I didn't take physics, so that sounds like a you problem.
You're right.
Joke's on you, because I don't know anything about that. Did you? Oh, okay. Jazz Wolf got it. Never mind. Let's say, how did it go away so fast?
I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Not worth knowing about.
Now, Jackie Chan says, guys, did you know you can drag full mesh 3D objects into MagicaVoxel and it converts it into a voxel model? I literally just randomly tried it and it worked. Mind almost exploded.
So that's actually how I made the Smurfs.
What?
The Smurf characters that we have in the sandbox use the actual head models from the TV show. They sent me the mesh object files.
That's so
from
cool.
the TV show, and I dragged them into MagicaVoxel, because I did. I when I did the pitch for Smurfs, it was one of the very first projects that I had at Sandbox as staff, and and I made what was like kind of a close approximation to the design of the Smurfs, but I had never modeled a Smurf's face before,
Yeah.
and they were kind of shaped more like our default avatars, and they looked kind of not great. And so they were like, we like the idea of these small voxel smurfs, and like they liked the pitch, but they were like, we're gonna need to do something about those faces.
Mm.
They have a face that only Gargamel could love, and uh
I was a little
so
obsessed. It was weird.
so they sent me the mesh files, and I dropped them into MagicaVoxel, shrunk them way down to the right size, and did some cleanup because it doesn't look perfect, but it got the proportions where they needed to be, and then I adjusted to make it fit just right. So yeah, that was the
I
whole
can
process.
dig it. I can definitely dig it.
Right. Somehow, okay, I'm okay with this. Somehow the room ended up being. Wait, did I say 12? I did say 12. Okay, no, it's the size that I thought it was going to be. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do I want? I think one more step down. This isn't lined up to the grid, so it's throwing off my ideas for measurements.
Ikion says there can be a few things to be careful of, though, like empty spaces
Oh yeah.
inside of assets.
So there's an easy fix to that. Um,
Do tell.
if you
Unless you don't want to tell people, just hold the information for yourself and then
Oh
just
no.
taunt them with it.
No. I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to make tutorials for MagicaVoxel.
I know.
Yeah. Um so we're going to make a nice big space here, and we're going to put in the teapot. I need it bigger than that.
You
Okay.
need the teapot bigger?
No, the space needed to be bigger.
Gotcha.
So, this is the teapot file here, which is, I believe, an imported mesh, and you can see that it's all hollow. So, um,
Oh,
when
wow.
you
Okay, yeah.
when you have hollow spaces in a voxel model and it gets converted into a mesh, it's not just the outside of the surface that's a mesh, because you've got this void inside. Both sides get get meshed, so you have all these faces and all these inside faces. Um, just like having like an actual glass teapot, right? But you don't want the inside faces because that doubles up your geometry. So
Okay, yeah.
now it doesn't work with this particular teapot because there's some holes in the mesh that I can see along the lid here has some holes. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of these tools on the side. Remember how I said how MagicaVoxel is really nice for modeling because it's got all this extra stuff here. So um, dilation and erosion will actually like grow and shrink your voxels. So
Oh,
dilation will add
wow.
voxels around existing voxels, and erosion will remove voxels. So if I do erode, it actually all disappears because every voxel was just a single voxel by itself. But if I do dilation, we make it chunky. It's now a
Oh,
chunker
wow.
teapot. And if I erode, you can see it. We kind of lost some detail, right? Because it didn't. It like filled in the spaces. This is a destructive process, right? So I'm gonna undo. So
That's so cool.
I dilate just to make it thick, and it's filling. It's filled up all those holes except for this little one in the top here. So we're gonna fill that in.
Boop.
And now you can see that you can see the original blue in here, but there's still all this empty space. So what we can do
Pull it.
is, hmm?
You know, like, pull it, like grab one side of the wall and like pull the cursor towards you?
Nope, cooler than that.
Oh.
We are going to click this button called flood right above Lucas's head here. Flood, and there's tooltips. So you see like at the bottom of my screen here in the middle, every time I hover over something, there's tooltips. So flood will fill all invisible space. So I click flood, and as I move it in, you can see it's now all filled up.
Oh wow. Now it looks like a jawbreaker.
Yep. So that is what you can do to deal with holy meshes.
Okay.
The other thing, like you saw that using erosion like made it all disappear. Similar things can happen if you like increase or decrease size. So if I say like half the size, oops. Okay, well that didn't cause any problems, but using that multiply and double and half the size can do weird things when you have like uneven spaces in your voxels because you're doing a times two or a half, but you're doing it with voxels, not with pixels. With pixels, it can like blur as you shrink and grow, but there's no blurry voxels. There's no halfway full voxel, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you cut it in half, it actually you lose information. So if I do like if I do walls with just a single space like this, and I say half, all those gaps are now gone. And if
Hmm.
I offset them and I do half, oh, actually it kept them. Okay, that's cool. But if you do it with like colors, and you go half, it had to decide which voxel it was going to fill up, right? So we're
How
gonna
did it decide?
um, there's probably some like if this space is filled to use this one, if it's not filled to use the other one. So like you noticed how
I gotcha. I gotcha. It dawned on me.
either way, like whether it's this space or the next one over, it still all fills it. But if it's green and I do half, so it went like, okay, green is the visible face on this side, and then the next one will be the alternating color, I guess. I don't actually know like how it picks it.
I was
Um,
like candy and now I'm hungry.
and if I move it just one space over, it actually keeps
Interesting.
it pretty consistent. But it still can't. You're trying to fit both of these things
Into the same space.
into the same space. It has to pick one or the other. It's not going to
Yeah,
blend
yeah.
those together to make a weird gray or yellow color. So yeah.
Like a split pea soup green.
every once every once in like a blue moon, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want split pea soup with those little chunks of
Same.
ham. I
Same.
don't usually want it. It's usually
Nope.
like this is kind of
Ugh.
gross and
Ugh.
boring and like who eats this? And then every
Exactly.
once in a while I'm just like, you know what? That
Every
would be
once in a
tasty.
while. It's like once in a blue moon. It's like, Saturn is in retrograde or something weird like that. And you're just all of a sudden you're like, you know what I could go for today? It's been
Split.
6 years exactly. Split pea soup. I'm the same way, my dude. I really am. It's
It's
always surprising to me too.
it's a very weird craving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feel a little disappointed with yourself. You're like, "Ah, when did I become boring?
What is wrong with me?
This food is for old people. Wait, I'm the old one now.
You're not.
Maybe a little bit.
No. But thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Oftentimes, my wife says I exhaust her or I make her tired, and I think it's because of comments like that. She says it with love. Nothing. There's so much love in it, but she's like, sometimes you just make me so tired.
Oh no.
That looks so cool. Ooh, I'm gonna do that giveaway. I'm gonna close that out now.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving away 3 orange hats today.
Woo!
Count them. 3. Alex, if you give me 1 second, I have a puppy that would like to come in, and I'm just gonna let her in the office real quick.
That's fine. All right. I think I'm okay with this use of the space here. All right. It can be really weird to get used to like slicing on the fly and just like kind of diving through, but you do kind of get used to it. Um, it's like looking at an MRI of your voxel models. All right, now we need to make the descent to the lower areas. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put double entrances. So on either side. Whoa, what happened there?
Oh, I put the headphones on the outside of the hat, and it's so much more comfortable.
It's not squeezing them against your head anymore.
Oh my goodness gracious! Now it feels like I'm just like, you know, when you go to sleep and you sleep on a hard pillow versus a soft pillow. Now it feels like I got a soft pillow.
Oh, I like the hard pillow.
Well,
Well, okay,
firm, yes.
yeah, no, I like a little bit of give on top of like a chunk of a pillow. Like if I could get a small mattress, because I've got all this shoulder and I like to sleep on my side, and so my head's like, unless I stack up a bunch of hopefully very firm pillows to keep my spine aligned. Um,
It's fair. It's fair.
I get sleep paralysis if I sleep on my back.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not fun.
No, I like wake up halfway in the middle of the night and start hyperventilating because I'm like, I can't move. I can't move. Okay, I'm awake enough to I can move now. Like once I figured out that sleeping on my side, I didn't get the sleep paralysis, I'm like, I'm never sleeping on my back again.
I
Before
mean, I
I
feel like
fall
that's fair.
asleep, I feel like nervous that I'm gonna get sleep paralysis, so I don't do it.
I feel like that's a really good reason.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What time is it? 7:15. Okay. I think we'll finish up the giveaway and then we'll call it. We'll put it to a close on this for now.
Okay.
We'll probably be building a MagicaVoxel for a few sessions, but I'm always happy to answer questions about MagicaVoxel, VoxEdit, Game Maker while we're live in this, and eventually we'll get this into the Game Maker.
I'm so excited to see this like work on this and also to transfer it over and see what that process is like as well.
Hmm.
But I do have those winners also.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
No.
Winner number 1 of Wizzy's orange hat is, I think it's Yuri 206.
Hey.
Winner number 2, Gionha. It's JE0NHA. Jenna Gionha. I'm not sure how to say your name, but you won. And winner number 3, Kradvinf. KRADVINF. I feel like all the winners today were just here to mess with me because I couldn't say a single one of their names properly, I think. But to all 3 of you, congratulations. You have won Wizzy's orange hat. Crispy, singed orange hat.
All right.
Definitely didn't struggle with that at all. Yes, you could see my excitement through the ears. I love talking about winners.
I
It's
said I was
fun.
gonna like be done, and then I just kind of want to do this part.
Do it. You do you, boo boo. It's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Whatever you want it to. That's what that means. Mm.
So we're not doing a spiral staircase. We're doing like I don't know what to call this, like a stadium staircase?
1 second. Yeah, that's like stadium seating. I can see that. It's like bleachers.
Where it kind of like it splits, then it comes back around.
Wayward Escapades has wonderful question, and that is, did we sing happy birthday yet?
No. You don't have to.
I'm just, if we can figure out a way to get like a group voice chat going, I'm all into it.
Technically, we're in one.
I mean,
Now.
you know what I mean. More than just 2 people. 2 people is not a group.
I I don't know if Joe and is still, or anybody else is still watching. Who
Joe.
has access to the channel.
Sweet, sweet Joe. You around, boo boo?
I feel like this isn't. How did I get the floor where it is? Did I intend to go down another layer? This is actually taller than I had intended it, but I guess. Yeah, we're gonna go down 2 more layers. I'm actually gonna select all of this. Nope. Nah, not worth it. Go down. What you typing over there, Lucas?
Nothing. Definitely not looking for people to come sing. I'm surprised you could hear that.
It's not like type 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 type. It's like one keystroke, another keystroke, Another. It seems like you're doing like grandma typing. Like,
Oh, types with fingers.
yeah.
So I have a friend who's like really good with computers, and he can type faster than anyone I've ever met. Like, it's kind of amazing, and the amount of errors he gets is few and far between. But
Sure.
whenever he's talking about working on a computer, he always does this. It's like, so I'm typing away, right? And so his nickname is Tony Types with Fingers. And every single time I see him, I'm like, types with fingers, what's up? And it always cracks me up because he never actually types like this. But this is a terrible story, so I'm going to end it now.
I don't. It didn't seem like a terrible story to me.
I just felt like at the end of it, I was like, I feel like this isn't going anywhere, so I'm gonna cut it off.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you.
Hey, do you have any? Are you and your family doing anything tonight?
So every Wednesday, my town in the has like music in the park.
Okay.
So they actually go do that while I'm streaming for the summers. So
So they're having fun without you on your birthday. Got it.
I mean, they're having fun without me while I'm having fun. It's outside. I don't like outside. It's gross out there. It's actually it's been a really nice week here in New England.
Okay.
25, 26. What? I mean that'd be great. That's younger than my brother, who I'm 7 years older than.
And it's fun because Alex looks better than his brother too.
He just I mean, you can tell we're brothers. He just turned 27. I'm now 34 as of today.
I can't believe you.
I'm old.
No, not even a little bit. I feel like you're not old. You can't even start thinking like that until you're somewhere in your 50s and you start feeling like you are.
Oh, I feel old all the time. Oh. My wife and I, since we were teenagers, we do all the cracky things. It's my elbow. That's my other elbow. My neck. We both
cracky things. I was like, where is he going with this?
Well, the entire time we were teenagers, we were in karate, and we blame that. Being able to crack every joint about once an hour.
Like clockwork.
Like clockwork. Grosses people out. We're like, deal with it.
Sounds like a them problem.
It is.
I am loving watching this design process. And in my head, every time you take something away, pew pew. I mean, I hear the sound effects. And it's wonderful. So if you rewatch the VOD and you see me just randomly start smiling at some point, that's probably what was going on.
You're just making laser sounds.
In my brain. Constantly.
All right. So we're making all the floors 2 meters thick. So that way I can do a different ceiling from a floor. Should I choose to.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always have that option.
That seems actually really functional.
Yeah. So that's I don't want to say a habit, because I actually haven't been building that much in the sandbox to really call it a habit. Like I've been making assets and stuff, but I haven't actually been building that much in the game maker lately. But now I am, because now we can do land publishing. So I'm like, oh no, I've got all this land I need to publish on now. So I developed that habit from playing Minecraft because I would try
Okay.
to build like kind of realistic like mansions in Minecraft. And it's you do your white wool ceiling and then you want to have like your red wool carpet or whatever,
Mm.
wood floor, tile, whatever. That there's so many. I tried playing Minecraft a few months ago and I was like, there's so many more new blocks. I don't there's like 20 different kinds of wood and 50 different kinds of stone. I don't understand. When are the
No,
good
thank
old
you.
days of just like smooth stone and cobblestone and that was basically it. It's too much. I can't keep track.
Much too much.
Okay. I took away too much. There we go. So I need to make this a little bit lower if I want to get that 12-foot ceiling. So we're going to go and of course railings, super important.
Safety first.
Is that not on the grid? Why is that not on the grid? Sorry for that. Didn't mean to flicker the screen so much.
Mm.
That's on the grid. Why did I make that step offset like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I feel like I made that too low. Nope, I like it better that way.
Fair enough.
So I think about the way people like round corners, and um, something that bothers me when people, or not. I'm not trying to call out anybody specifically, but something that irks me in level design is when I come to this part of the stairs where there's just like where the wall and the floor are flush with the edge of the step and there's no overhang,
Okay.
because in real life that's a like an awkward step, right? And it feels like you're too close to falling down the stairs, so having that top step extend past the wall, I did it accidentally here but I actually prefer it that way.
Okay.
um, so this makes us 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 tall, but I still want it to be 12, so I'm gonna need to
Wayward Escapade says this looks like a place that either battles will happen or traps will be triggered, or possibly both.
oh, I know what to do.
What? Tell us now.
um I'm gonna make, wait, let me just make sure I make this tall enough. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, good. So because of the way I have it now, I can oh no, there we go, I fixed it. I can do this. Ta-da.
Nice.
So these would be, even though these are meter like terrain blocks, these will probably be like 4 steps, like quarter meter steps going
Okay.
up, like like these ones right here. So those will be filled in with assets.
Yeah.
So you'll just have like a little landing of like 4 steps, kind of like a little plaza thing going up. Plaza is probably the wrong word.
I was gonna
And
believe you. It's your birthday. Like that from now on, that's a plaza.
and so now I kind of almost want it to extend further out, but no, I think it's good where it is because if I back the walls up too much further, it's gonna interfere with the steps above. So um, now what I can do is I can select this whole area like this and extend it. Oops. Grab that, extend it out. I already messed it up. That way. All right. Copy and paste and then rotate 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And now that whole staircase is copied. Although, no, not quite. I need to remove some of this upper wall.
You know what you should do?
Hmm.
That little the subtle staircase placement comment you made. You should put together like a list of those, and then we should have a show where we just go over like little details that people can add that will
What
give
irks
value
Alex
to.
in your building?
Well, I mean, generally speaking, the things that irk you, they
Right.
seem to be very either aesthetically pleasing or functional, and sometimes people just don't think about that. Like as you were going over the staircase thing, I was looking at it. I was like, that does look a lot better. That
Hmm.
does seem, just more functional.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if maybe we could put together some sort of a list, and it could even be Alex Irk list. I don't care what we call it, but like it seems like it's something that could add value to the community. So just think
the
about it. Keep it in mind.
the Urkelist.
There you go. Like it. We could call it Family Matters. It'll be fun.
All right, now that whole section is copied, and I can position it and do it again. So, I mean, a lot of it is just observation and like it's like the same reason you like will draw from life, right? The way you'll like draw an apple while actually looking at an apple is you start to observe all the little nuances. So when you start trying to model a building and you want to try to make it as realistic as possible, you start looking at references and you start thinking about those things. And as you navigate the environment around you, you start to look at, oh, the way baseboards fit together and the way things are constructed. It just kind of becomes a way of life
Mm-hmm.
looking at things. So it's kind of hard to like. I think I'd have a hard time. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a good
It'd be
idea.
hard to.
It would be a lot of work
Fair enough.
to think of the list because a lot of it's just kind of observation. So you could ask me what I think about those things, but I'd have a hard time listing them without a prompt, I think.
I feel like that's very fair.
All right, so now this is on all the sides. And I kind of wish that I could just plop this into the game maker, but I can't. So you could take something like this and drop it into Unity and like run around in it if you wanted to, but it will take time. So uh the next thing for this is continuing to, well, I think what I want to do from here is finish the top of this structure. You know,
Hmm.
what's the height of it going to look like? Um and that will make sure that we're good with vertical space. And then we're going to iterate this shape going down um, and out. And this will, I think these areas will kind of cut out to the outer wall here. Maybe not from there, from like, probably give it this wall. Nope, still not far enough. This way. So like the outer corners are going to cut out to the very edge of the structure like this, so you get more light into it.
Hmm.
Like that. um I don't know, we'll keep on playing with it. So
I like it.
we're gonna stop it here.
Okay.
And I want to give people a sneak peek of one thing,
Ooh.
because I haven't shared any screenshots with this. Normally I was, when I was doing, I'm behind as usual.
It's
um
okay.
I have been since I was 5 years old. I've always been behind.
Oh. Okay.
uh
Hey, you know what?
yeah.
Consistency. That's a thing. We
Don't
appreciate it.
tell my mom. I was homeschooled, so I did schoolwork through most of the summers for like my entire life. So I've I've not really had a full like 3 month break since I was 5. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, I did summer school every year of college, not because I was behind necessarily, but just because like there were
You're used.
classes that I wanted to take and they were in the
Yeah.
summer. So, um, uh, let's see, where is it? Sandbox, 4 seasons. So yeah, the May reward is minted. I don't think the claim is up yet. I haven't checked yet this week.
I
But
checked a few
I'm
days ago and it wasn't up yet. Is it the
okay.
first of the not the
That
monolith, but the city block?
the city block, yeah, that's the May one. I'm
Okay.
almost done with the June one. I just need to
Nice.
make. I need to make. So I had that flower graffiti. I need to
Hmm.
make that artwork, and then there was another like geometric artwork, and I need to make that one.
Okay.
And then I'll just be in the like checking collisions phase. So I think before the end of the week, I was hoping to have it like last week, and things came up. So there's always something.
As
But
they do. As they do.
let's see, Monument Summer. Where is it? Is it this one? Nope. Summer. Here it is. This is the new one. So you can see that it's the upper layer of the city block, because remember there are
Hmm.
four
Hmm.
pieces. They all fit together in what I call the dog bone shape.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so this one goes above the spring one at a 90-degree angle. Of course, you can arrange them however you want. There is like one suggested configuration. It's not even a suggestion. It's just like for the logo, basically.
It's just like a Lego box. It comes with one suggestion on how you put it together, but you can do whatever you want with it.
Exactly. And these are just really big Legos.
Yeah. Yeah. Massive.
So there's a bigger pool in this one.
Because
Just
summer.
well, and also because I just really like the pool block texture.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I really like this like color and block. Like this was one of my favorite parts in the spring one, and so it's gonna be in all 4 seasons, but it's
Obviously.
I just like it a lot. Um, Obviously we're going with a more yellow theme. I
Mm-hmm.
think the flower graffiti for this one's gonna be like a sun with sunglasses, but I haven't made it yet. I haven't settled on what the geometric abstract art is going to be yet. Um, I've got this kind of like Sonic-y looking. It makes me think of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I can see
Um,
that. I can
it's
definitely see that.
it's similar to the pool section, except it's a half the size or half the tiles are smaller, tighter. Um, but I really like that. And then I made this new tree,
That's
which is
cool.
which is swirly.
How did That's just really neat. I love the bark.
The bark is, I think, actually identical to the tree in the previous one.
Oh,
Um,
really? It just stands out more here for some reason.
I think it's more exposed
Oh,
than
okay.
in the spring one.
That's
Um,
cool.
so this is like a swirly tree now, and I was looking up like what I wanted to do for like the small plant, and I found out about these cool things called brain cacti. They're
Never heard of that.
it's like a little cactus plant. Um, well, I mean, I don't know how big they can get, but um,
Oh, I've seen these before. Okay, yeah.
they look really cool.
I actually had one of these in my front yard for a little while. It was growing with another plant, and the other plant took over, and it unfortunately killed the brain cactus. But yeah,
Oh
it was
no!
really neat. Yeah, it was brain dead.
So so they look really cool.
Hmm.
Um, because I wanted to do like something kind of mazy looking, and so there's this, which is it's from more of a distance you can kind of see it's
No, it's
got
really well done. I
got a
love
tracing
that.
line, and it's all, if I remember correctly, it's all one line.
Oh, oh, like that
So
art where it's just like a full picture is drawn, but it's just they never lift their pen.
yeah, so because of math reasons, there is actually a there's a mathematical limitation to being able to do this sort of tracing, and I think if I had modeled it underneath where you couldn't see it, which would be pointless to add in that detail, I would have been able to fill in this section. But this is the one spot where I couldn't put a bright green piece because um there's a thing in mathematics. So the math course that I had to take in college involved a lot of like like not a lot, but some amount of like kind of game theory stuff and
Okay.
being able to calculate like distances or like the most efficient path and like if you make a map and like various countries are touching, like what's the minimum number of colors you need to use in order to make every country a different color, and there is like an actual limit, like there's a maximum number of colors, like I don't, I think it's like 7 or 13, something like that. If you make it so that way all the countries like alternate colors, there's like there's a maximum number where you don't need any more colors, kind of like
Okay.
a
Makes
maximum
sense.
minimum. It's hard to explain what I'm
No,
trying to think
I
of.
see exactly what you're saying, so that
And
you're not like overlapping in the wrong way or having the same color bunch up against itself.
right, and
Yeah.
there is a limit where you can't, if all the countries are contiguous, no matter how many countries you add, you don't need any more colors. And I don't remember what the limit is, but we studied on stuff like that.
That's
So
neat. That's
anyway,
really cool.
when you have there's also like drawing a maze with one line. Um, if you have anytime you have an odd number of lines connecting to a point, that means it's a terminal end. Because if you've got, say like the letter T all coming into like one point, you need a point in. You have to go in and go out, and then you've got another one coming in. So you can only have 2 of those, and that will be your start and your end for the whole map. Everything else has to have an even number of lines going into the node. So this structure was limited by that. Like I had this one point, but it had kind of like 3 going into it. So no matter how I moved the rest of the lines around, I was never able to fill up that one section. So, oh well. It's kind of hidden by the planter. Anyway, so this is the brain cactus.
The brain cactus blew my brain out.
I very much like overthink that, but I feel like it's worth it because like this is a really big asset, and I want to put in cool little details for everybody, and then
the love is felt. It's really cool.
These assets become individual things that you can buy separately in the collection as well. The lamps and the railings are the same. The tables are the same, although they do have a different color for the lamp or the candle plate there. There's a secret tunnel. So I will have to do testing to make sure that you can climb through this successfully, but you can climb through this tunnel to get to the other side. There's also a ladder shaft here.
Tell me more.
Well, it's a spot where you could put a ladder. Although I need to make this opening bigger. I need to cut a hole in the floor here, so that way you can jump down and also walk through this path if you put it on its side. There's a shelf. There's a new spirally rug.
Oh.
Similar sort of texturing to the previous rug, but now it's a spiral. And save the best for last. Purple couches and an arcade.
Okay.
So this is the game Slam. It looks like a shoot 'em up, a vertical shoot 'em up. I don't know.
It's called Slam. That's all you need to know.
It's called Slam.
Slam.
Because I could fit the word in there, and it looked cool, and it sounds cool, and I did like the 80s like grid line thing.
I love it.
Had a lot of fun with that. Can I render it? Is it gonna let me? If I do sparse, it's probably killing the frame rate of the show right now.
Looks fine.
Yeah, actually, it's looking pretty good. Except MagicaVoxel's freaking out. Oh no. There we go. Yay, ray tracing. So yeah. There it is all lit
really
up.
Cool.
You can see the colors better now. Now I will probably have to adjust these colors once I put it in Vox Edit in the Game Maker and I see like what this actually looks like. This is what I want it to look like, but the colors are going to translate differently with the settings in the Game Maker. So
that purple yellow combo is super killer, man.
Yeah. All right. And then I got the scan lines too, of course. You gotta have scan lines.
Not Jackie Chan says, I would play that game. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's going to be the special asset in there. And I think that was all the main details. Pretty much everything else there is built. Oh, yeah, this thing. I haven't entirely figured out what I'm going to do with this thing yet. So I had the globe as an animated asset, the only animated part of the collection, which I can't animate it in the superstructure because
science.
Well, the collisions won't work, and you wouldn't be able to navigate through the building. But when I make this a separate asset,
one little thing breaks it.
Yeah, the really important part of your building. So when this is a separate asset, though, I can have it be animated. And I'm not entirely sure what I want the animation to be, but these cubes will be doing some sort of twisty thing around each other. I'm going to have to play with it and figure out what I like. But that'll be a thing.
I'm excited.
All right. So that's what I've been working on in the background. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Lucas, for hanging out.
Hey, thank you for hanging out with me on your birthday. I feel special.
Hey, you are special. All right.
Thanks, man.
Have a great week, everyone. We will see you on Saturday, and we'll probably be playing some Playboy Game Jam games. We'll see.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.